Hey y'all, it's Lucy, and I'm here to show you the cat dancing figure based on a vintage cat. And the first time I made this, look what I found inside the cat thing, a cat toy. Um, First time I made this cat was for this little candy box for an event online, and now I've got it as a file you can purchase in my shop at shop.paperglitterglue.com. But I really like this vintage image. I just think it's fun, and I always like how with just very few colors you get such a great image. You know, it just pops out at you. So I wanted to use this image again, and so I came up with the cat dancing figure. Now this is based on some vintage figures, some vintage decor where they use, what is it called, honeycomb paper for the arms and legs, and I just thought that was kind of fragile. It was tissue paper, but I just used cardstock and do the little arms, and I just think it's really fun, and I think it would be a fun project you can make with kids. And I've got another one, something kind of similar coming up that has a really fun variation too. But this is the cat dancing figure that I made out of cardstock. I cut it out with my Cricut Maker, and I know you're going to enjoy making this with me. Alrighty. Okay, let's get started with our vintage cat dancing figure. I'm going to show you how I set it up in Cricut Design Space. So I'm going to New Project, and I'm using the Upload button in the lower left-hand corner, and I am on my computer, so we're on the Canvas page, and Upload button, Upload Image, Browse. Here we go. This is what your file will be, the vintage cat dancing figure. This is the SVG form template. This is the file. I'm going to click Continue. Image details, if you want to add some extra information here. I'm just skipping that. I'm going back to Upload, the green button in the lower right-hand corner. And here is my cat looking kind of chaotic. I'm going to reduce the size so I can see all my pieces. Next, I'm going to ungroup. This is my 1 by 1 inch scale square. I'm going to delete that since it came in at the right scale. Move some things around so we can find everything. This is the body of the cat. This is the head. There's a background white piece. And the feet have 3 layers too. Ungroup them so I can show you the layers for the feet. Black overlayer, the white layer that lets the claws show through, and then the black. Here's a little bow tie. This makes the mouth. Wait, let me ungroup these pieces. I glued the mouth behind the white piece so that the cat has teeth, and then I glue orange behind the black piece, and then this green to give the cat green eyes. So that's the way the layers work. And I drew the arms in orange because if I'd drawn them in black, you wouldn't be able to see the score lines. So that's why I drew them in orange, but actually I made them in black for my demonstration. You could do orange legs if you want on your kitty. You could do whatever color you want. And I've selected this one. You see it in green here. And this series of lines here, those are my score lines. And I know I've told you before, I draw them in red, so the color box turns red. And that's a clue that is score line, because that's almost the only thing I make in red. I guess the mouth is red. Yeah, go back, select this. Select the score lines, go to the Operations menu, scroll down, and choose Score as an option. And then these lines turn into dashed lines. And then we group them, we attach them, just really stronger than grouping. And it lets the Cricut know that these score lines belong to this piece. I'm going to do the same thing with the other pieces. I'm going to select this one. Choose the score lines. Operations menu to score. Click them all. Attach. Select. Choose the lines to score. Score. Select the entire piece. Attach. Select the score lines. score, entire piece, attach. Now those are all of the score lines. There's actually one more. I didn't include it on this file, but I'll add it. It's a little tab so you can hang your little cat easier, your little vintage cat dancer figure. You can use any kind of cardstock, 65 pound, 80, 100, it doesn't matter. They all work for this. Only thing that has kind of small details are the cutouts for whiskers. That's why there's a white background piece. The cutout for the whiskers. Generally, when you have tiny cutouts, lighter cardstock works better. So if you're worried about that or your machine's a little finicky, then I would use 65-pound cardstock for the or 80 or 65-pound cardstock for cutting out the black pieces. Okay, now let's go to construction for our little cat dancing figure. These are the main supplies you need to make the vintage cat dancing figure. A glue, I love Barely Art glue. And I'm using a tiny tip because some of the pieces are small. And so I found this tip works really well. I'm using the fine tip blade. You don't need a deep blade. I like the scoring stylus. You need to score the folds on the arms and legs of the dancing figure. And so I use a scoring tool. You can use a scoring wheel, but I like the scoring tool because I don't have to switch it out with the blade. Cardstock. You need a couple of colors. I like green for the cat's eyes, an orange nose, and a red mouth. So I just use little scraps for that. And then some white so that the whiskers on the cat show up. And then any kind of mat. You can use a light grip, standard, strong. This one is obviously very well used, so I pull out my painter's tape. I always keep like little pieces that I've used before, and I tape down my cardstock just because, it's not real sticky. All right, let's get started constructing our vintage cat dancing figure. Okay, I think I've got all the pieces here. And I just wanted to show you something. If your machine does not cut things out completely, like this mouth is still a little bit attached, I always try to pull the piece from the back. Because if it tears, Alley Cat keeps walking on the computer. Because if it tears a little bit, it's on the back. It's not on the, okay, and the same thing, a little piece of the nose and one part of the eye. And that way, any little nubbins tend to be on the back. I just wanted to give you that little tip. All right, these are all my pieces. Let's start off making the face. That's the most important part. This is based on and it's not symmetrical. So match up the ears. It's almost like there's a little notch here. Match up the ear and make sure it matches your background piece too. So use the little notch ear as kind of the main guideline. The first thing I want to say is we want, actually, that one, the white doesn't show much at all. All it does is basically give you a little, it mainly does the teeth and whiskers, and does whiskers. Okay, so you want the teeth to show. So to remember that, put the red mouth behind the teeth. And that way you won't mess up with your order. So I'm just adding a little bit of glue. And put the mouth back there. There we go. All right. Now for the other two pieces, I'm going to glue them on the back of the black piece. And that way, again, I won't mess them up. They won't overlap each other. So let's apply. Remember, our notch is on this side, so I'm turning it over. So I can add like this little green eyeglass piece. There. And now a little nose. Oops. I'm sorry, Alley Cat keeps walking on my computer. Alley Cat keeps walking on my computer and she changed cameras, which is kind of scary because I don't want you to see me. I didn't dress for being on camera. And glue on the back. Match up the notches. And I thought this would be a pretty good one to do with kids. And I have another one coming up I think it's really good for kids. There we go. There's our face, our cat face. And I like the layers because it gives it a little dimension relative to the body. So it just gives you a little more distinction of the cat from the body. Okay, now let's do the paws. And there is a white piece that corresponds with it. And again, the paws are not symmetrical, so you do have to kind of match them up. Let's add a little glue to the back of the paw. This is the front paw. And let's do the other side. I'm going to add glue to the back of the paw. So we've got the front paws. Let's do the same for the back paws. And I added a black piece just because I wanted the back of the cat to look dark, to have the same color. So I think I've got background pieces for them too. It also makes them a little heavier so they kind of bounce better. Let's do the back paws and add a background piece. One more back paw, background piece. I should have reversed it. Well, fortunately I cut some extra, so I'm going to pull out another one. Okay, let's make the paw correctly this time. Yeah, it helps to lay them out before you glue them together, so you do it right. Not that it matters much, but you don't want your kitty to have two left feet. There we go. Now our kitty is correct. Okay, the only other thing in terms of layering is I did add this. I added a bow tie to give him a little more personality. You can omit it if you want, but I kind of like the bow tie, or do, whatever colors you want, and apply glue to the back of the cat head. And we'll kind of arrange them together. Okay. There's the body of our cat. We've got two legs, our paws, and now let's make the accordion folds, the little. So I always leave this one flat so I can glue it down. So I'll fold, and whenever I do score lines, I always fold towards myself first because it's indented there and it's easier. And then if you want it to be what we call a mountain fold, go up, then just fold it back. Okay, so fold it up. This one. And I still want it to be a good fold, so you'll figure it out. But anyway, I think this is the part you can do with kids, and it's just kind of fun. I also thought about braiding them like we used to do, where you get two strips and you kind of braid them together, but I decided to simplify things. Okay, so up, up. So now that's one. And I'll do the same thing with the legs and the other arm. Now I have all the little arms and legs folded. Let's glue on our, let's do it right. The shorter ones are arms and the longer ones are for legs. I just thought that looked better. I think on the vintage ones, their arms and legs were the same length, but I just thought that looked like just a little too weird. So I made the arms about 2/3 the length of the legs. Arms. Got them on the right side that I want. Before we do that, I'm going to add one other piece. I included this in your file. It's just a little hanger. And I added it instead of punching a hole in the top because it always tears through. And I thought, well, if you got a little hanger on the back, you can, and it tears through. I actually made it with 2 layers of cardstock. And it tears through, you can replace it, and it doesn't mess up your cat. That way, if you want to hang your cat, you can just tie a string, fishing line, something here, and it won't jeopardize your kitty. Okay, wait, I'm going to zoom out just a little bit so we can see our cat a little better. And I'm just going to glue the arms on up here. Kind of slid it under the bow tie. You don't have to do that. I just realized that I could. Let's see if this one will slide under. There we go. See? Our little cat dancer. And same thing. You can glue this on the front or back. I think for this one, I'm going to glue it on the back. I just think it looks like kind of a really fun vintage decoration. Not hard to make. So, and there it is. Our little cat dancer. So I hope you have fun making this one. And I've got another one coming up that I really like too, that I think you'll have fun with. It's not really scary. It's just kind of silly. So I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.